Hola, Spaniard here. What I'm going to do today is take you through the basic relationship, okay, or the relationships which form a trust. Let's have a look at this, alright? Because once you get an understanding of how trust relationships work and how trusts work, they're very powerful tools, okay? And I can tell you, don't feel downhearted because you get confused with it, okay? It will take some time to resonate with you, okay? And even legal professionals have been known to make mistakes where trusts are concerned, all right? As I will explain as we go through this presentation. So, you can put anything into trust, okay? It can be material or it can be immaterial. Alright, so it could be material, say like a pair of shoes. It could be something immaterial, like an idea or intellectual property, okay? So we've got the thing, and in this context I'm using thing to define something which is either material or immaterial. Now the thing which goes into trust or is placed in trust is also referred to as the corpus or the body of the trust. You'll also have a term, or you might hear a term, res. It's the res. Okay? So that's the thing that's going into trust. Now the party that puts that into trust is often referred to as the grantor or the settlor, but can also be referred to as the donor or the trustor. And that's the party that puts the thing into trust or grants the trust into being. What happens is this, when a trust relationship is being created, if you can imagine, the thing is 100%. The grantor or the settlor will have 100% of the title of the thing, okay? The thing is 100%, it is absolute. Now in order to create the trust relationship, what the grantor settlor has to do is split the title of the thing. And that title is split into legal title and beneficial title. So let's do that now. Okay, now the clue is partially in the words here. Beneficial title is passed to the beneficiary. That's the party that's going to benefit from this relationship. Meanwhile, legal title is handed to a party that we refer to as a trustee. In other words, it's someone that you trust, or the grantor settlor trusts, to handle all of the administrative responsibilities and duties with regards to the trust relationship. Makes sense, right? So if we look at this relationship, right, what we now have is a situation where the trustee, okay, has the legal title, the beneficiary holds the beneficial title. The beneficiary is not supposed to get off his backside and do anything, okay? The trustee is there to either look after this property and hold it safe so that it can be delivered to the beneficiary, right? Or alternatively, to manage the property, okay, for the benefit of the beneficiary. You get me? Now, obviously, if there's any kind of paperwork that comes along, taxes, things of that nature with regards to the trust, then of course the trustee is going to be responsible for dealing with that. If anyone attempts to attack the corpus or the body of the trustee is going to be responsible for defending it. Alright? If the trustee doesn't do his job properly, then the beneficiary sues the trustee. Okay? So, the trustee owes a legal duty to the beneficiary. Okay? Meanwhile, the beneficiary, if anything goes wrong, the beneficiary enforces his rights against the trustee. Yeah? So this party has rights. Let me just put that in. Okay? So, I mean, look at the words as well. You know, if someone is trussed up, right, that means they're kind of tied up, they're bonded in some respect, all right? They're tied up, they're enslaved in some respects. Now, prisoners in America are often referred to as trustees, okay? They've been bound, they've been chained, they've been enslaved, they've been put in prison, and they are referred to as trustees, all right? They owe a legal duty to the public at large to repay their debt to society. You get me? The beneficiary has rights, okay, and interests in the trust, yeah, and it's the trustee's duty, legal duty, to deliver to the beneficiary, all right, and to perform for the beneficiary, yeah, not sex acts, obviously, right? Oh dear. So what you have is this three-way relationship, all right, which creates the trust. Now, the beauty of the trust relationship is this: the property, more often than not, is protected because the trustee only holds legal title. He doesn't hold absolute title and therefore does not own the property. Likewise, the beneficiary only holds beneficial title. He does not have the absolute title and therefore cannot be said to own the property. Okay? The property, for all intents and purposes, is kind of floating out there in the ether, right, in terms of ownership. So it's very difficult to pin down who owns this property. Plus, of course, the trustee is under no obligation to divulge who the beneficiary is. Okay? In other words, who is entitled to this property? So what you have is a situation where property can be kind of shielded or masked, all right? Hidden, if you like, in a kind of invisibility cloak, okay, by utilizing this relationship. I'm not going to say that everything that goes into trust can be hidden, all right, but a lot of things can. If you want to learn a little bit more and want to learn how these relationships can be used to protect property, then click the link below and come over to the main website and we'll continue the discussion there. Until then, big love.